Malcolm X's final day, February 20th, 1965. On the evening of February 20th, 1965, Malcolm X was not the fiery orator who electrified Harlem with his speeches. He was not the radical figurehead who had challenged the Nation of Islam, nor the man under constant surveillance by the FBI and NYPD. On that day, his last full day alive, he was simply a father at home with his children, carving out one final moment of peace before history claimed him. A man under siege. By early 1965, Malcolm X was living in a climate of constant threat. Just a week before, on February 14th, his family's home in East Elmhurst, Queens, was firebombed while his wife Betty and their 4 young daughters were inside. Miraculously, they escaped unharmed, but the incident reinforced what Malcolm already knew. His time was running short. Estranged from the Nation of Islam after breaking with Elijah Muhammad in 1964, Malcolm had founded 2 new organizations, Muslim Mosque, INCI, and the Organization of Afro-American Unity, OAAU. Both groups reflected his shift towards Sunni Islam and a broader human rights struggle, but they also made him a target of former allies and government agencies alike. FBI memos from that period are blunt in their assessment. Malcolm was considered dangerous, influential, and unpredictable. And yet, on February 20th, none of that was visible inside his home. A father-at-peace accounts from Betty Shabazz and later biographers describe that Saturday as unusually calm. Despite the tension that shadowed him, Malcolm spent much of the day in the living room, playing with his daughters, Atala, Kubila, and Ilyasa, while Betty looked on. He laughed, teased, and told stories, at times ignoring the weight pressing on him. For his children, he was not the man battling political enemies on the world stage, but simply Daddy. His youngest daughters later remembered the warmth of those hours, Malcolm lifting them onto his lap, playing games, and filling the house with energy and affection. The tenderness of that day stands in stark contrast to the chaos of the next morning. A gathering storm. Even as he enjoyed his family's company, Malcolm knew his enemies were closing in. He had confided to friends that he did not expect to live long. In a speech just weeks earlier, he remarked, "It is a time for martyrs now, and if I am to be one, it will be in the cause of brotherhood." That evening, he prepared for a speech scheduled for the next day at the Audubon Ballroom in Washington Heights. The gathering was to be an OAAU rally, one of many grassroots efforts Malcolm was leading to build unity among African Americans while connecting their struggle to liberation movements abroad. He had no bodyguards of real training, only a small team of loyal followers. The night closed quietly. Malcolm went to bed in his modest home, his daughters asleep, his wife beside him. No one in the house could know that the next day would bring tragedy that would echo across generations. February 21st, 1965. On Sunday, February 21st, Malcolm X stepped onto the stage at the Audubon Ballroom. Moments later, as he began his address, gunfire erupted. He was struck multiple times and pronounced dead shortly afterward at the age of 39. His assassination shocked the world and left his family and the broader struggle for Black liberation forever changed. Legacy of the final day. The image of Malcolm X as a defiant revolutionary dominates history books, but the story of February 20th reminds us of his humanity. Before the bullets, before the headlines, he was a husband and father. He spent his final hours not in rage or despair, but in love, sharing laughter with his daughters, giving them memories of warmth in the shadow of tragedy. That quiet day is more than a footnote in the history of civil rights. It is a window into Malcolm's full character. He was a leader, yes, but also a man who cherished his family. To remember February 20th, 1965, is to remember that even the most powerful figures in history are also parents, partners, and human beings.